Welcome to episode 2 of the Losers Lounge. It's your boy Tony Crow. Yo, Black is time. Shout out to the chat. So, you guys know why I made Knicks and Bruises because we was going through it as Knicks fans, blah, right? But times have changed, and now the Knicks are handing out the bruises. So I figured, why not make these other teams the butt of the joke and get some insight on how other teams feel after we beat them and we bruise them up. So here we are with episode 2 of the Losers Lounge. This is the Portland Trailblazers edition. I got some guys with me. I got Eru. I got Freezy. You know, this is gonna be fun. I'm glad you guys here with me. Shout out to Sim first and foremost. Finally got my show on his channel. Shout out to the Queen who held it down with me with the crossover and is always there with me on Knicks and Bruises. And shout out to the whole MBK fam. Freezy here, Eru here, jumped in, spare the moment, and we gonna share this moment, and hopefully we keep it going. But appreciate you guys for joining. Always here for me, MBK
No doubt.
fam. You know what I mean? Like
No
we
doubt.
really family.
No doubt.
What's going on, guys?
Cool, man. Good to be here for a new segment, man. I didn't even know you was doing this. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, chilling,
Pre-
boss.
appreciate you. Appreciate it. Shout out to the chat too. Always tuning in, checking in. No matter what we coming up with. So basically, I go into Bleacher Report. Shout out to Bleacher Report. After every game, before every game, I look at the other team's community and get a feel of how they feel about us. How they feel about themselves, how they're feeling about the game. But this segment, I basically I look at it after the game, after a win, a Knicks win, and then see what they what they're saying. So got a couple comments straight off the back. We're gonna start with James. Shout out to James. He says we need to keep Thibault. My thoughts on that, from the outside looking in, is number one, Thibault played great that particular game. And he's been playing pretty well from my knowledge ever since he got traded there. Um, I've heard Philly fans talking about, oh, why he couldn't do this while he was here, and I've heard Blazers fans pleasantly surprised about his outcome. Um, Not much funny about this comment, but any thoughts on this one? They need to keep Thibault. Thoughts on Thibault? Definitely had a good game against us.
Well, he played defense. He played good defense. He was passing the ball. I think he had like I'm looking at now 3 steals, 1 block. So he was all over the place. So I guess that's something that they're missing over there. They don't really have that thing going on over there in Portland.
Right. Right.
No doubt, no doubt.
Salute. Yeah.
Let me, uh,
Yo, Tony, you making me laugh, bro. You making me laugh, man, because this used to be us. The bad team when a dude play good for a little stretch. We like, we need to re-sign Michael Beasley. That is giving me them vibes. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, and that's the great thing about this. Shout out to all NBA fans because before I even thought of the idea of bringing this to a show or anything, one of the things that I got out of listening to other teams' community is they're not that far removed from our thinking. You know what I mean?
Right.
Whether
Right.
it's some of us overvaluing some people, whether it's undervaluing some people, you'd be surprised how many good teams out there in their chat is talking about fire their coach. You know what I mean? And it's just it makes me feel better about some of the wild takes that even myself have at times about the Knicks, but about the wild takes I hear within the chats and within the community and other shows. So um I just thought it's a cool thing to
Yeah,
dig
it's
it.
pretty cool. I catch that in the chat too. Let's say if we like we both do watch alongs, right? So they'll pop in just to see what we're saying. It's like a Portland fan. So it's like we're looking for each other. They want to know what we're saying. We want to know what we're saying. So that's how we're able to cross connect with each other like that.
Right.
So they're real fans out there. We get to, for the most part, we see people on Twitter talking junk. The guys that are kind of fair weather superstar fans, but just those real diehard fans and stuff like that. They're everywhere. It is interesting to hear their perspective and stuff. To hear them cry about certain
That
things. It is
that,
kind of cool.
Right.
that is a fact. Shout out to Ron, John, Jose, still Knicks fans. I can't wait to get them on here. Eventually, considering they do the NBA report, another MBK fam show. Shout out to Sim again. But they talk about other teams throughout the league, at least once a week. So they kind of dig into those, at least our opinions of these other teams. But I think that this will be a great show for them to join in and get their perspective and help them get some perspective for their show. Well, moving right along, let me get to the next comment. I don't want this to be a long show. Try to keep it 30 minutes. So we breeze by a couple of them. Let's see. Momo, shout out to Momo. Simmons is so inconsistent, and the crowd is literally booing towards the end of the game. I don't, I don't know if I heard the boos. He's young, so I would think he's gonna be inconsistent. But similar to the situation that RJ is in, got the extension. Fans are expecting better results and consistency in this aspect. But they're looking for things once you get paid. What's your guys' thoughts on that comment?
Yep. This is hilarious, bro. It's hilarious. It cracked me up, Tony. I ain't gonna lie. It cracks me up because, for the record, Portland usually wipes the floor with us, right? It don't matter what the rosters look like. It don't matter if it's summer league or regular season. Portland always find a way to choke us out, right? And now that we good and we beat them and prove to them that they ain't in our league, at least in that one game, they mad booing the future of their franchise. They like, who are the Knicks to lose to? They so mad that they lose to the Knicks that they booing the future of their franchise, bro. This is hilarious to me, bro.
Hey, you'd be surprised how much I be laughing at some of the comments. Trying to pick the right ones, trying to figure out. All right, did they go too far? Maybe I don't want to put this. Especially on Sim's channel. You know what I mean? But they be wilding out there. What you think, Eru?
That's what you get when you pay guys that they shouldn't get paid. Like you're paying for potential. So then when they get out there and they get paid, you're expecting something to happen that's different than what's really out there. Same thing like RJ. Mitchell Robinson, the same thing. We paid these guys, and now we're expecting them to be like these finished products, and they're still growing. So that's the problem with losing, with the losing mentality, losing teams and stuff like that. So I can relate to that. I can definitely relate to that concept.
They big mad, bro. They big mad. They shuffling their feet, bro. They that mad, and because they got whooped by the Knicks, that they booing the future of their franchise, bro. That's crazy.
And again, to the chat, bear with me. This is definitely a learning process. Sim is not behind the scenes tonight doing executive producing, so just bear with me as I get my bearings. But we're gonna move right along to comment 3, and we got Chauncey needs to go, the owner needs to go, and the GM.
That sounds
wow. Wow.
Again, like, we go on a losing streak. This is the kind of things that we hear within our own community, right?
Yeah.
Right.
What I will say, well, I do have a question about Portland, their direction. Dame being there seeming to be a lifer in general. What is your thoughts on it? I'll give an example. You can go somewhere else with it if you want, but years and years and years we were crying and begging and wishing and hoping for a superstar, right? But if we have gone through, let's say we were the Blazers, right? Or the Blazers were the Knicks with Dame for all these years without, sniffing the championship, but always being a good team, always, making the playoffs, but living through what they've lived through, right? Um how would you feel in that if that was us? You know what I mean? Like because they're in a tough situation, you know, I don't know how much the coach is, but that GM, that owner, the front office, like this is years now that they kind of haven't got it right and haven't really sniffed getting close to. Oh, all right, we're right there. You know what I mean? And at this point, it's an even tougher situation because which direction do you go, and how do you get there?
Right. Right. Man.
Well, I think we experienced it already with Melo. Remember when we had Melo? Once because we assigned Amari, these guys that got hurt, and we tried to get, we tried to do all these other moves that just weren't working. So that's what Portland's going through. They were winning for a little small period of time. They tried to make little moves to build around Dame and fix things up, and things are just not working for them. This guy, Jeremy Grant, didn't play last night. He's like their 20-something point a game scorer. He's supposed to be a two-way player. He didn't play last night, so I can see the frustration. They don't. They're a proud franchise. I know that Portland's a very storied franchise. So they're used to a certain style of basketball. They have their Rick Ottomans of the world back in the '90s. They had their Clyde Drexlers and their Terry Porters and that, that and the other. Clifford Robertson. You go down the line, so they have a tradition. So I get it. I get their frustration because the Knicks didn't experience all of this stuff. So definitely can relate.
Right. I get it. I get it with Portland. Too. The thing about it is they know how difficult it is to get a superstar. And right now they're experiencing a run with the greatest player in their franchise's history. And if that player walks out the door without winning the championship, it's going to look like one of them situations, Patrick Ewing and others that played a long time, most of their prime with a franchise, and the franchise couldn't get over the hump. But what they have to consider is there were 3 or 2 significant runs during Dame's prime. When Dame entered the league, the San Antonio Spurs were contenders. And during the middle of his prime, the Golden State Warriors were a dynasty. You know what I'm saying? So I understand their frustration. But the fire everybody thing, you notice that Damian Lillard was not in that tweet. They didn't say get rid of Dame. Right? They didn't say get rid of Dame and start all over. Basically, what they saying is everybody but Dame can go is basically what they getting at.
Freezy. I got a lot more comments, bro. Let's see what they thinking out there. You know what I mean? Let's see. The NBA must hate Dame, never gives him credit, never gives him calls, and allows the Blazers to re-sign Dirk. That's hilarious. The NBA allowed, like they were supposed to stop him. Like
they're supposed to stop it. They're supposed to step in like a WWE ref.
That sounds like our franchise, though. Like, well, why don't somebody just come in and take the team from Dolan and get this, do that, do this, that, and the other. That's not how it works, Right. It's 30 teams out there. I get the frustration, but you just have to grind it out. But they're lucky that they have Dame though, because Dame he keeps maintaining that he doesn't care. He plays hard. It's not up to me to build the team. They lucky they have a guy like that, because if he was like arrogant and stuff like that, their situation would be a lot worse.
Right. Yeah, and I'm sure not every fan out there appreciates the fact that he keeps them relevant, right? Yeah. They now granted he hasn't won anything for them, but he keeps them relevant, and they don't really know what the bottom is, right?
Right.
They haven't experienced, especially the younger Portland fans. like all they know is at least competitiveness. All they know is at least fighting. They haven't even scratched the surface of what some of us Knicks fans have
Right. They like
gone through.
even when they're in the lottery, they have a bailout. They could say, "Well, we only in the lottery because Dame was hurt." But there are other teams in the lottery. They in the lottery and they there because they suck. You know what I'm saying? So they earned it. So, but yeah, man.
Well, they had their times too. Let's say like Brandon Roy and what was the other dude that the center that they had that got injured, uh, Greg Oden.
Odin.
Yeah, Greg Oden. So I mean, they had their little times where they were bad, but then they always bounce back. That's the thing with Portland. So now they're just stuck in a spot where they're getting talent. They're getting young guys. Anthony Simmons is good. Damon's good. They're getting talent. They signed, like I said, they signed this guy Jeremy Grant. So they're getting talent in here, but it's just not bouncing back up. It's like they got a flat basketball. They drop it in. It's not going all the way up.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, this is fun to it's not us right now.
Right.
Thank God, man.
Is it just me or is Chauncey getting worse as a coach as the season goes on? I mean, me personally, I haven't watched enough of them to say it's just you or not, but I've definitely read enough comments to know that their fan base as a whole, are not high on Chauncey.
Right.
And expect more from him, and he gets a lot of the blame. What I will say is, from the outside looking in, that's a young team overall. And they've dealt with a lot of injuries this year in general from the outside looking in. I know Grant has missed a lot of games. I know Dame has missed a lot of games. And it's tough to mesh young and old. We're doing it pretty well. You know what I mean? But we also went through last year where it wasn't like this. You know what I mean? And the fan base went through it as well. Like, we were very divided as a fan base as far as play the kids, why we play the vets, and finding that balance. And I credit Tibbs for the simple fact that it may have taken him some time to find a balance and figure out which young guys fit with what vets and vice versa. You know what I mean? And knowing what to do. But I don't know. I think this is his first year coaching, correct?
Second year?
Second?
It seems like the second year because we lost to them in summer league, right? I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah,
I mean, even if it's his second, he's still a young coach. Like, at what, every young coach is not going to come in, or every first time coach is not going to come in and be Kerr, right?
Right.
Like, let a young coach come in and learn as he goes as well. But I also would say, having a guy like Dame there, that pressure is going to be on whoever the coach is, veteran, young, old. You know what I mean? Like, Dame's there. The expectation is win, be competitive. And it's unfortunate because I think the roster should have more to do with people's perspectives.
Right.
Did they hire? What kind of coach did they hire? Because like Tom Thibodeau, they a lot of people wanted the youth, but Tom Thibodeau's automatically likes vets and that type of thing. So did they hire Chauncey to be a veteran coach, or did they plan on like having like a veteran team? You get what I'm trying to say? What
I do. I think personally, outside looking in, I think they hired Chauncey for Lillard. And I'm not saying that was Lillard's choice, but I think they were thinking somebody that could help Lillard or keep Lillard, from requesting out. I don't know if it had anything to do with, great coaching mind, great schemes, because again, he's a rookie coach. So I think it had to do with former player. Dame will respect them. Those type of accolades, as opposed to he worked his way up and earned his way in. And I'm not saying he didn't earn the job. I'm just saying I don't know if it couldn't have been based off of merits, because what has he proven prior to?
Right.
Yeah, they had 9 straight playoff runs too, so that's got to be frustrating too, for making playoffs 9 straight times with Terry Slots, and then they get Chauncey Billups, and now they're in the dumpster. So that's got to be frustrating too. It's like, oh, look at the front office, look what you did. You got rid of Terry Slots, and you got this guy in there. You know, I can see it. You got this guy in there. I can't believe it. You know,
but you know, on the flip side, they probably was screaming a week prior, get rid of Terry Scott. You know what I mean? Like he's had 10 years. He had 9
I used
years.
to listen to their radio show.
You know what I mean? So it's the grass is not always greener. And again, as Knicks fans, we've learned that too. We've definitely learned that too. Let me move right along. Get that one off of here. And this one is funny.
Oh my God, I saw that earlier.
It says, man, what the F kind of Portland doodle crap is this? And this is, I thought it was a joke. I did not know this was real until later on that evening when I was gathering all this, and that is their real true new mascot, Douglas Fir.
They debuted it last night against the Knicks.
Yes, they did. Yes, they did.
This is 2023, man. That's a bad idea.
That is a terrible idea, man.
Oh, excuse me, pardon me.
You know, it's kind of messed up too, because that region, they used to remember the Seattle Supersonics had Sasquatch also. I think
they went through the same thing.
Yeah, so it's kind of messed up that they took the Sasquatch guy from Seattle, and this is stupid. They gave him a hat. They his beard. Like, what is going on?
First of all, I think the number one error in that is, I mean, I thought Portland was a kid friendly arena, and I can see that that mascot scaring a bunch of kids. You know what I mean? Like,
sure, he's scaring me.
That's weird, man.
Oh man! Shout out to Ron, man. Ron, thank you for joining. Welcome to the Losers Lounge, where we get to celebrate a Knicks victory with going over some of the pain that the opposing team has dealt with. So here, welcome aboard. You missed a couple of chats out there, but got a few more for you. I've been waiting.
I was listening though. I was listening. Well,
then you heard me, man. I felt like you're gonna bring some more fun to this show. So anytime you're available, man, jump on in here and get some insight on the opposing team's chat. You know what I mean?
Sounds good.
Yeah.
What's happening, fellas?
What's up? Just looking at it, what were they thinking? They said when they had the ballroom together and they had this picture up, I said, yeah, man, that's a great idea. Let's debut that against the Knicks, like, at the end of the season. That's what they thought.
They smoking Portland, bro. You can tell they smoking
a bad mascot.
The Knicks, man, they better not ever do that to us, man. We don't need a mascot in New York, man. We don't need no furry critters. We
don't need no sewer rat. We don't need a sewer rat mascot.
No Ninja Turtles, nothing. Leave it alone.
We sure don't. Oh man. If we bring back Chauncey next year, we might as well trade Dame, because it's gonna look like we rebuilding again. And that's what I was telling you, Freezy. Hold on. I'm sure somebody out there, is referring to Dame or letting him go and moving on. And some people believe that might be the only way to properly rebuild and get things right. But this guy is basically saying Chauncey is not the right coach for Dame. And if Chauncey's there, then Dame should not be. I'm gonna start with Ron, because you always you got the NBA report, so I know you be having your ear and eye to the streets of other teams. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I stay in Portland. No.
What's your thoughts on this comment and Portland in general?
I think they probably saying that because we, as Knicks fans, we only see Portland twice a year, right? But they're watching Portland every night, and I think what they see is, no matter, I mean, at least from what I've noticed, a couple games that I've seen outside of the Knicks, whatever system Chauncey Billups is running, Dame does what Dame does. So, I mean, I think maybe they look at it like, Dame doesn't really fit into what Chauncey is trying to do over there. And don't get me wrong, it don't hurt Portland because Dame is Dame. He gets busy. We saw what he did against the Knicks. Like, it's hard to stop this dude. But is he playing within the system that Chauncey's trying to run? I couldn't say that. I've seen them play without Dame, and it didn't look like what it is when he's out there. So I think that's kind of why they're probably saying it, because I think the two can coexist. I don't know. Right now, I think Dame has nothing really, like, Portland is not going anywhere. And it's not like they've made significant changes to make them a potential playoff team. So I think he's just out there. I'm going to play. So, yeah, I don't know. I can see why they're saying it, though. I'm surprised that it's coming out now, but this is a long time coming.
Yeah, I feel you.
Yeah, I think Portland fans just need a binky. They just need a baba.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's what it is. Y'all know how it is. Like when teams get used to winning and then they stop winning, bro. They unconsolable. You got to give them a pacifier, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like when teams are used to winning, like when teams are used to playing into May and sometimes into June, whether they win a chip or not, bro. Like Golden State Warriors fans this year, bro. You like. Relax.
Hey,
y'all not like us. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's not like us. That's the thing, though. We don't know what that feel like to be used to winning. You know what I mean? Like we gotta go back. We gotta go back a long time to even and to be honest. Let's be fair. My show Knicks and Bruises and all the highlighted moments that were crusher moments for us. A lot of for a long time we take those days. You know what I mean? Not now. You know what I mean? But there was a long time where we would have took those stretches because we didn't know it was gonna get as bad as it got for us. You know what I mean? So we took those Patrick Ewing years and them early Spreewell Houston years and all that. We took that for granted.
Right.
Because we thought it couldn't get no worse.
Right. Yeah.
But we got to remember that was 13 years, though. 13 years straight in the playoffs. So yes. I remember, time always it got a chance, to repeat itself a little bit. I remember like early 2000, 2001, and 2002 when it started to shift, and we got Clarence Weatherspoon and Michael Doliak and all the other craziness that we had coming over here. Once it started happening, I was like, what are we doing? And we was capped out too.
Drafted John Thomas, LaVar Postel. Yeah.
Oh my God.
But my point was, even those times, like it felt like it couldn't get worse, and then it got worse. And then, you know what I mean? And then it felt like it couldn't get, and then it got worse. Like they got those bruises, those Knicks and Bruises are over, and now we get to hand them out.
Can I just say that's why I love being on shows with you guys. Because when y'all start, like, I remember everything, but I forget names. But I remember the time this dude said Michael Doliak and LaVar. Like you guys are throwing them out, man. I'm feeling it.
The time?
Every time I see Othello Harrington on the sideline, I want to slap him in the face, man. Othello Harrington, man. I can't believe he brought him back.
Yeah,
right. I mean, a lot of these
except he's an MMA fighter.
Are suppressed. You know what I mean? We suppress these names in these moments. You know what I mean? You hear it and your heart start racing. You know what I mean? Or the hair on your neck stand up, like, because you remember those moments.
Yeah. I mean, not for nothing, bro. I can't even believe we had Michael Doliak. He sounded like an actor. He don't even sound like a basketball player. Like I'm surprised we had him. I remember.
Don't he sound like the third dude from The Usual Suspects?
Right.
Yeah, Jackie Butler. We gave him a nickname, Jackie Blue, and stuff like it's a black exploitation movie.
I forgot to shout out the names of the people who was putting these messages up. So shout out to Willie at Love Life. He had a meme up. Obviously, I can't get the movement, but I got the still shot of the tank, and that's basically what he's saying. Pack it up, sit Dame. You know what I mean? Like, don't even attempt to win any more games. And I've actually heard that from numerous fans of Portland as well, that their only road to recovery might be trying to jump into that sweepstakes for one of those top 2, top 3 guys. And I mean, I really don't have a comment about it. It is what it is. As a Knicks fan, even in the dark days, I've never really been a fan of tanking. I think if you're doing it with young guys, it builds bad habits and bad mentality, and veterans and older guys just don't do that. And if you have a veteran or older guy that is willing to do that, I don't want him on my team. You know what I mean? I don't want him anywhere near my organization. Because that tells me you're literally here for the check. You know what I mean?
Hey, Tony, I gotta go, man. I appreciate you having me on, man. I love this. This right here is fire, bro. Keep doing this right here.
I appreciate you, man. Anytime you free, you're welcome to join.
Ron,
peace.
Appreciate you, brother.
All right.
And I think we almost done. I got, I think, 4 more. Let me see. We got shout out to the chat too, man. Appreciate y'all jumping in there. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Check me out on Knicks and Bruises too. I got some surprises over there as well. Shout out to Sim sharing the platform, the Podfather, and of course, still Knicks fans. Pardon me, Blanche Tears, Freezy, diehard Knicks fan, Eru. Appreciate y'all. NGL. Anybody know what that means? NGL?
Not gonna lie.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Showing my age.
I mean, I know because I've been watching some stuff. Eru knows because he's younger.
Not that much.
I thought I was gonna have to call my daughter real quick and embarrass myself, but here I am embarrassing myself live on nothing but Knicks channel.
I'm kind of embarrassed that I said the answer so fast. Not gonna lie.
I was with you. Right. I was with you. I'm
gonna know it now. So next person I hear asking, I'm gonna be just like, not gonna lie. Starting to realize former point guard coaches ain't the move right now. Nash, Chauncey, Kidd, all the worst coaches this year. Nash was this year. That's how long this year has been.
Yeah, Nash.
Wow, that feels. I don't agree with the statement, but yeah, Nash was this year.
That feels like eons ago. And then in perspective, I'm sure for them as the Nets, it probably feels like even longer considering everything they've gone through with the departure of the stars. But I don't necessarily agree with the comment as well, because you can definitely name some great point guard, former player, coaches, Kerr, but maybe he's just referring to this year. And if that's the case,
even this is all over the spectrum, though.
Even this year, I wouldn't say that. Like Chauncey Billups has still, we don't know who he is yet. I've learned to respect that from a young coach, because you kind of write them off quickly, and then if that was the case, we would have wrote Jason Kidd off when he was with the Nets. But then he goes to Dallas and he turns them around because he had a good lineup of players. Now
and Milwaukee first.
That's true too.
Yeah,
that's true too. Like, you got to put your dues in and learn, and you get better. And also, personnel helps. Jason Kidd's personnel, even though it's not that different, there's some big pieces that aren't there. So, just saying.
And shout out to Doc too. Doc didn't really start out the best either. He was with Orlando. He was lucky a couple years, and then he had a lot of forgettable seasons too. So you kind of like, you got to build that craft.
Develop. Yeah. And don't get me started. I can't wait to get to do a Philadelphia losers lounge, because they be on Doc. Like even they podcasters, like that, what I mean? They be on Doc. Cause I ain't gonna lie, I watch podcasts from opposing shows as well, because I like to get the views of their fans and the views that they have about us, just to see Are they undervaluing us? Are we overvaluing our team in the perspective of other people's eyes? Oh, all right. Moving right
That's fair.
along.
Well, just want to say, don't be surprised if one day you hear some crazy stat like Doc Rivers has gone down as one of the winningest regular season coaches in NBA history. Just saying.
Yeah.
Let's see what we got. You at Laker Forever 21. Nice. Uh, you all deserve better. Rebuilding should have been over after LaMarcus got traded. You're still not competing.
Hmm.
I agree that they deserve better. I agree that Dame deserves better. But sometimes at the same time, and I'm speaking about Dame, like you make your bed, you lay in it, right? You hit free agency, you had options, you had choices, and you made your choice. So I think you know the comment he just came out with recently about the culture of the NBA and he don't like it and the ring chasing this, that, and that. I mean, I feel like you have to say that. Had he won a championship already, or if he wins one in the future, I look at the statement differently. But with you not winning and you making the choice to stay and you making the money you make, you know what I mean? Again, you made your bed, you lay in it, you gotta live with that decision. So you can't come back now and say, oh, they're not doing enough. Oh, they're not spending enough. You know what I mean? Or whatever your issue may be with the team. You gotta recognize the circumstances, recognize what part you played in it. Oh, I went on a
That's
little
fair.
rant there.
Nah, but
Yeah,
I
that's
felt
what
you,
we do.
brother.
Yeah, that's what we do.
That's fair though. That's fair. I think Portland made they made the mistake. There's one thing about loyalty. It's great. You gotta love it. And I would, if I was Dame as a player, I would appreciate that same type of loyalty. But when they decided to trade McCollum and move on, that's when they should have blew the whole thing up. They should have
Yeah.
moved on from Dame and did all that.
But they kind of replaced him with Anthony Simmons, but they didn't replace the player. Anthony Simmons took his spot, but then there's a void. They never filled the void. They got on Jeremy Grant, but they didn't get that. They didn't get a replacement for the guy they just left. Well, all-star, big time basketball player. Still got a lot of basketball left in them. They didn't replace that void. So that's on them. They took a chance on some of the young guys, and they just didn't play out.
Plus, I just think like if you're gonna stay with a player and show, like, there's nothing wrong with showing that love and respect, because that player has always been down for your team and tried to bring people to the team with him, not going somewhere else. But Dame is getting older. He's making $50 million per year, basically. At some point, you got like, oh, this is a tough investment. We ain't gonna be able to get that much better with all that money tied up into one player, and we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, that's what losers do. The Knicks got messed up so many years doing that, paying guys with the anticipation that something good was going to happen down the road, but then you stranglehold yourself. Now you can't get better. We did that with Allen Houston. We've been there and did that with Allen Houston. Gave him that big contract, and then we couldn't make any moves. And then like I mentioned, guys like Doliak and that stuff, that's all we could do. Howard Isley, Shannon Anderson, all those guys, those are the only people that we could pick up, because we stranglehold ourselves. We couldn't get better. So that's what they're doing here.
Oh, I had a great point. Actually, not a point. I'm sorry I can't shout them out because I can't think of their name, but a Blazers podcast show earlier this morning, and one of the things that they were so adamant about was all the mistakes that they made in recent years, highlighting the McCollum trade, not trading McCollum, but the return in which they got for that trade, and highlighting like a bunch of these different these different moves where it's like, yeah, we did this, but look at what we got in return. It's all these mistakes. And then they even point out players on the other team that they could have got as opposed to the players they got in the trades that they made. But without going into the details of who the mistakes they made, it was very interesting and very telling to me that, you know, at least this particular fan base, they don't have faith in the front office, and they feel like they wasted the Dame years more than Dame. Like, they appreciate Dame for the most part, and kudos to them for that.
Sounds like Portland has a lot of similarities to the Knicks fan base.
Yeah, I can't stop.
Except
making
for, I mean, we probably had a little bit more winning in the 90s.
Hey,
Yeah.
Like,
hey,
because
I-
Portland
I-
had a nice stretch, but I think we probably did a little better than them.
You know,
I got-
what's a fear that with the fan base too? Because when Ewing, he was supposed to get traded. Say like Don Nelson wanted to make some changes with the offense and stuff, and then shortly after that, they were talking about trading Ewing and stuff like that, but they didn't. Then when we finally traded him, it was too late. His value was low. He was old now, and we
Mhm.
traded him for an alcoholic, a guy with 2 bum knees, and a bunch of other stuff too. So the Portland Trailblazers, they might end up keeping the guy too long. Where now they're going to trade him for like like an old Brunson or an old, what I'm saying, old Julius, that type of thing, and get nothing in return,
Vin Baker, just to throw another name out there for Ron.
Yeah, that's the old alcoholic.
That's the alcoholic right there. Oh, and shout out to Vin Baker too. Or rest in peace if he passed. I'm not sure, but
Who's that?
I don't know.
Vin Baker.
No, he's coaching. He's coaching on the team now.
Then my apologies again.
Yeah, I forgot what team it is, but
He's
he turned his life
alive.
around.
Tony,
Yeah,
don't take him out.
No,
man.
I know. That's
Nah,
why I'm like, dang, I don't want to not say it if he was, and then say it and then he's not. But always good intentions.
We're getting old.
I got 3 more, maybe 2, because I don't know if this one's loading. Let's see if it loads up or not. And it is not. So we're going to skip that one. 2 more comments and we out of here, fellas. I appreciate y'all. James at Knicks Chip 2023. This is a Knicks fan in the in the Blazers chat. He says, "Are y'all excited about Douglas about Douglas Fur? I think he's a great addition."
It's messed up, man. It's messed up.
Anybody who just got here, that's the mascot. I posted the comment on the mascot earlier.
Like, this
right.
don't make no sense. You roll this Douglas Fur. First off, it's a horrible mascot. Like we talked about. But if you're gonna roll this Douglas Fur mascot out, this is rebuild mascot flow. You don't do this with Dame Dollar on the team. Like, we got John Glass over here. Michael Biloxi is our small forward. When you got guys like that, that's when you roll out the new mascot for the fans. Like, look what we got for you guys.
Yeah.
I don't know what they do right now.
Did he even do any tricks? Did he do like a dance or any magic tricks or anything? I didn't even notice him.
All I know is he was scared of the kids. He was scared of the kids.
That would have pissed me off. I can't find it. If you were losing and the Knicks bust out a mascot, I think I would just go butt wild in that place. Because that's what you do. Like you can't get the team together and you can't make the right moves. You can't build around Dame, but you give me a mascot and call him Douglas Fur. What the hell is going on here?
And he looks the way he looks. Yeah. They could have just wrapped up a Care Bear in a Portland Blazer. Give me something.
Yeah, or just put a suit on Robin Lopez. Is Robin Lopez still on their team?
He's gone now.
Yeah.
Hold on, let me throw this comment up. Shout out to my guy B Rob. He said somebody in the boardroom watched too much Harry and the Hendersons.
Sounds about right. That sounds about right. That's crazy.
And shout out to I Am Jarrell. Salute. Appreciate you joining. Welcome to the Losers Lounge. And last comment of the night. I'm mad. Comment number 11 is not loading, and I know it's the Cam comment, which I really wanted to highlight. I'm gonna butcher it if I try to remember it, but it was somebody talking about how Cam must feel, getting destroyed by his old team and McBride and Hart and Also acknowledging why would we move hard. So that's just to sum up that one. And the last one of the night, this is from
Sheesh.
Blaine, and he says pathetic. I understand how you feel, bro. We've been there before as Knicks fans.
Yeah.
Sorry,
That's
bro.
tough.
But appreciate you. Thank you guys for Josh Hart for sure. He has been a true addition, and I'm not saying we done, but he's a finishing piece. You know what I mean? Like we got a finishing piece before we even got to the finish line. So that particular part is done. We got that piece. We still got to add other things, but that final touch, we skipped a step and got that final touch because that's the kind of impact he's had on us. Hold on. Let me highlight this real quick from my guy. I am
Yep. I see that.
Big show tonight. Die Hard Giants tonight, 9:00. Check them out. Die Hard Giants. Either you gonna be on there with them?
Yeah, I'll be on there with them tonight.
There you go.
Should be
Die Hard Knicks, Die Hard Giants. Go check them out. If you have not subscribed to my personal channel, Knicks and Bruises, go check it out. I got some new content coming there as well, so look forward to that. Shout out to Sim for sharing the platform. Super excited. Finally got my own show on the channel. It's been a work in progress. Always shout out to the Queen. Always there for me. Knicks and Bruises. Always there for me with the crossover as well. And you guys, man, thank you guys for joining me tonight. But MBK fam in general, man, I always stress that we are really a family. You guys come through for me time after time after time. And I don't forget it. I don't take it lightly. Anytime you guys need me, reach out, call me, text me, whatever. I'm there for you guys, man.
That's cool.
And the chat, man.
My cash
Appreciate
app is
y'all. I'm
diehard
there for y'all
KPC.
too.
Just want to let you know my cash app is diehard KPC.
I got you. What am I doing here? You guys, if you got 2 minutes, just don't dip out. I'm gonna close this off, and I just want to ask you guys something real quick.
Okay. I forgot to plug my show. I got a show. I didn't know you was going on at 9 Eru with my guy Jarrell. I'm going on at 8:30. I had an original idea. It's definitely, you haven't seen it before. It's called the Not Winners Lounge. It's a little different. I'm really like
I like that.
I love you guys, man. I love you. Dude, I was interested. I'm like, all right. Look at MBK fam coming up with the shows back to back.
Yeah.
And my bad. Bear with me. I gotta go back to the Knicks and Bruises thing to get us out of here. So let's switch over to that, and we are gonna get out of here. Shout out to the chat again. Appreciate you guys for joining. Yo Black is time, and we are out.